Hello, welcome to the Knights Who Say Knees final project demonstration. We've all worked really hard to make this reality. We're super excited to show it off. And in case you can't see the names on the screen, our team is comprised of Farheen, Cameron, Miranda, Victoria, John, and myself, Brandon. We've had a blast working together, and we've got something pretty cool to show you today. But first, we're actually going to talk about the process and tools that it took to make this final project a reality. With a team of 6 people, you really have to collaborate to get anything done. So the first thing we use is Google Drive, and we use that fairly extensively, as you'll see here. We have got meeting minutes stored in Google Documents. We've got project deliverables stored as we make them. And we even have resources such as those provided on the Blackboard website so that we don't have to reference a website when we're doing our work. We even use a Google Sheet to collaborate times and schedules as well as contact information. So we were truly able to work together in a 21st century way using Google Drive. But it's not enough to work on documents together. Sometimes you have to meet. For that, we use Cisco's WebEx tool, which brings a little more functionality to the table than what we could get with Blackboard's built-in software. Of course, this project was inevitably going to require programming. And when you're programming, it's often advisable to use version control. We chose to use Git, and of course, in order to use Git in a team environment, we chose to use GitLab to host a central repository so that we could program together. You'll see here we've got prep work that we did in order to try out some things, maybe see how different Python libraries would work. And of course, we've got our final project, which we'll be looking at pretty extensively today. On top of what GitLab offers from a Git perspective, that being the central repository, it also offers a number of other benefits. For instance, a README file, which displays prominently here, made in Markdown, and we have things like standard syntax to follow, so the code is cohesive and easy for everyone to understand, ways to import the libraries we're using in each other's code, tests and how to run them, and we'll talk more about them later, how to run the program, more about some of the libraries we're using, more about tests, and finally, what project is good without some attribution and a motto? Neat! But that's not all GitLab does. It also lets you track activity so you can see who's doing what and what's been done, get you up to date. You can actually view the files in GitLab in case you want a lightweight way of reviewing code. And finally, one of the core features we used of GitLab was the Issues tab, where you can track outstanding issues, bugs, feature requests, and assign them to individuals. It's a great way to get work done in a collaborative environment. And actually what you're seeing here are the very few features that remain from our dream scenario. So we were truly able to accomplish a lot despite having 2 fewer weeks than are typical for this class. Just 4 remaining outstanding issues, all of which are feature requests. So as you might have noticed with the .py files, we decided to go with Python as our programming language because most of the team was already familiar with Python. And sometimes that's the most important part of making a decision in a team environment. We also used a few extra libraries and frameworks. For instance, the virtual environment package, which allows you to set up a virtual environment for your Python packages, your program, basically encapsulate the whole thing so that you don't have to worry about dependency issues. And we also used quite extensively PyQt, which is essentially a Python add-on to the Qt framework built around C++. And that's what allowed us to build the fantastic GUI you'll be seeing very soon. As we discussed in the class, it's important to test your code as well. And you will notice, and I will demonstrate, that the code we wrote was unit tested. We in fact have an entire folder of tests here, and we are able to run not only individual tests, but all the tests at once. And I'll show you that now. So, in order to run the tests from the command line, it's fairly simple. It takes just one command. We run the unit tests for just one class of tests. We can do that. As you can see here, 3 tests were run, and they're okay. But we can also test the entire code base that we have written tests for. And fortunately for this demonstration's purposes, all those tests pass as well. Along with unit tests, we were able to document the code automatically. Python has a great feature, a great module built in called PyDoc, which allows us to create documentation based on our actual code. Sort of eliminates the middleman. And you can see here, we have documentation for all the classes we have created in this project. So if anyone else who was unfamiliar with the code base was just getting started, they could easily open the HTML-based documentation and look at that instead of the actual code, which can sometimes be confusing. Although not my code, never my code. So I think at this point, it's pretty clear the process and tools we use to get the job done. And you're probably wondering, what did we make? So at this point, let's talk about what we made. At first, we needed a way to prototype our somewhat MVC, model view controller, architecture. We needed some kind of GUI early on to test our target functionality. So we created a hybrid of the minimal and target features and created what we called the text-based GUI, or text GUI. Now I'll show you that. So in order to run our text GUI, we do that right from the command line like our unit tests. We can go ahead and run it, and you'll see we get a nice prompt. Move the screen up just a bit. Let's play the game. So we'll just show a little bit of this game because we actually have something even better in store for later. But it's nice to get a feel for how the gameplay will work and what the game will look like. Let's get started. You press enter, it tells us there's 50 spins. And here we have what you might consider the game board. You've got question categories, questions available, actions you can take, list of the category types and names, even the current round, and of course, the player at the top. So we can spin. Oh, category 6. Ooh, this is a toughie. Probably go with, Whitewater. Hey, looks like I got it right. Let me just say yes. We're taking the role of not only the player, but the moderator at this point. Unfortunately, most of my teammates live a couple hundred miles away. Tells us how many spins are remaining, and it continues. And we can continue like that as long as we want. Ooh, lost a turn. Better print a score. Great. Oh, that concludes our turn. There we go. But I don't want to spend too much time here because, like I mentioned earlier, we've got something even better. Actually, so as I alluded to a minute ago, we have an almost dream system. We've built a target system that we then added functionality to meet almost all the criteria for our dream system, which is awesome. Can't wait to show it to you, which I'm going to do right now. Now, as you might remember from earlier, the GUI is based off of PyQt. And boy, wow, that looks fantastic. You can see we've got the title of the game, the question matrix, today's contestants, names, points, tokens, time remaining for answering questions. A beautiful, beautiful, spinnable, might I add, wheel right here. In fact, why not give it a spin? Categories down here with an area to answer below. Wow, question 4 for 200. It borders just one other country, Canada. Ooh, this is tough. Fortunately, I'm a resident of the US of A. Looks like I got this one right. But actually, even just using this GUI brings up a few good questions. How exactly did we implement the questions and the initialization of this program? You see we've got names here. Where did they come from? Well, let me show you. You'll see here I've opened up our options.ini file. Within it, we can configure almost everything about the initialization of our program. And I'll demonstrate toggling a few of these features and a few of these items in a minute. You can see we've got player information, information about the board, the points associated with it, game, the spins per round, do we want sound, do we want animation, what do we want the limit on our rounds to be, time in seconds. In fact, for purposes of testing the program, and actually for this demonstration, you can even program in an exact sequence of sectors to be spun on the wheel so that the results are predictable, testable, and in this case, demonstratable. Now, we also need to control the questions asked. And you can see here we specify it like this. We chose to use a CSV file because it's easy to edit by just about anyone. It opens up in Excel just fine, which I've got shown over here. Here's a section of questions. Don't look too much at the answers. This is an archive of an actual game played in Jeopardy. You can see we can even specify which are the daily double. This is easy, easy, easy to edit. You could literally edit it right here in Excel, save it, export it to CSV, and you would be set. So as you can see here, and as we just discussed, there are many parameters we can alter for a game. And so I'll show a few of those now. So let's load the game up, and you can see it should mirror these initialization settings. You know, you've got the names, Sean Connery, Burt Reynolds, Jerry Lewis, as seen here. And in fact, 3 players, just like we specified here. But wait a minute, I'm not Sean Connery, unfortunately. I'm Brandon. And fortunately for me, that can be captured in our game. And of course, you can edit any of these names. Furthermore, we can change the starting score. I'm Brandon, and I'm winning, as far as I'm concerned. And to be clear, since I'm using keyboard shortcuts here, I'm saving this file every time I alter it so that it takes effect when I run our GUI. Excellent, I am winning. That'll probably be the last time you see that. We can customize whether or not there is a daily double. And as I specified earlier, you can actually alter which question is the daily double in the CSV file. We've got the number of points. Make it something odd. Fantastic. I was never good at math anyway. Change it back. We could change the total amount of spins. 50 is a whole lot. Some of us aren't that patient. Winner takes all. So you can see we've got just one spin remaining. So of course, if I spin, the round will be over and possibly even the game. So let's move that back to, where did spins go? Right here. We'll put it back to 50. And I'll show you what that looks like, in case you didn't catch it before. 50 spins. Now, that's an awful lot of spins. Ooh, look at that animation. Guess I'm getting ahead of myself. And you can see game functions just fine. I'm going to purposely lose just to move through this very quickly to show you that you can spin all the way down from 50 to 0, no problem. When we actually go to demonstrate this functionality of the entire GUI, we're not going to use 50 spins because that would take forever. And who has that kind of time anyway? We'll start at around 20 or 25 spins so that for you, the person watching, and for me, the person demonstrating, we don't have to waste too much time. I have no idea. Okay, no, it's not. At any rate, that takes care of that. In fact, why don't we set that now? 25 seems fair. Good middle number. As I mentioned earlier, you can change the time given for a round. Go speedy. You can do that. Maybe we'll do it Mario style and speed up as we go. Well, I suppose I'd have to get to the second round to show you that. Maybe next time. You can see, as I mentioned before, 25 spins. Hopefully we get a category, and we do. And whoop, 5 seconds. I'm terrible at this. Oh, time out. So we'll work on showing more of that functionality later, but for now, you can see we can edit the time remaining. And it won't be 5. 15 sounds about right. Not too long, not too short. And finally, and this is really interesting, we found that in order to test and debug the program, as well as demonstrate it in order to show every sector in a given order, in order to show daily doubles and that sort of thing, we needed a way to have a predictable sequence of events, a predictable spin on the wheel. And so you can specify that here. And you may have noticed, hopefully, as I play the game, and I'll do so one more time. Actually, I'll lower my handicap while I'm thinking about it. As I play the game, I'm hopefully noticing there's no rhyme or reason here. This is a random spin as currently specified. Bankrupt. Crap. So again, it could be who knows what. Whose turn? See, this makes no sense. Totally random. But that's not always what we want. Let's try something else here. So you can see I've entered a spin sequence here. And you can see which sectors these numbers correspond to. So we're expecting a free spin, then category 6, and bankrupt. You get it. 8675309. Let's see if that happens. Ooh, actually, just in case, not sure I saved this file when I made that change. Here we go. Section 8, free spin, looking good. Could be bad. Just random luck. Let's see about 6. Ooh, 8-6. Oh, turbulent rapids. Light water, I think. Oh, I'm getting better. Oh, I'm getting points too. And you'll notice token for that last spin. Let's give it again. With any luck, it'll be sector 7, which is sadly bankrupt. That's all right. I think we don't need to continue at this point. But you can see we can program the order of sectors chosen on the wheel, and that is how we'll be playing the game in just a minute to show its full functionality. So before we start the game to play for our final time here, play it through 2 rounds, we're going to take a look at the initialization file so we know what we're starting with. So it looks like I'm going to be playing against our two professors, and we'll give a slight handicap to one of them. And otherwise, a fairly standard game. As I mentioned earlier, 25 total spins per round, 15-second limit. Hopefully, everything works out. I mean, I'm assuming Damasco and Chappelle can keep up. We'll see. And of course, as I mentioned before, a certain spin sequence that'll just help demonstrate the game. Save that. Get that out of the way. Here's our list of questions. Don't take too close a look or you're cheating. But you'll notice we can select daily doubles. And so what we've gone ahead and done, selected this question. So you'll remember when we're looking for North Korea as the bordering country of South Korea, that's a daily double. And so is this fairly fantastic Monty Python and the Holy Grail quote. We'll make sure that's ready to go. And okay, I think it's time to play the game. All right, it's go time. And I feel like I'm in the Olympics. And here we are in our Wheel of Jeopardy game. Looks like it's my turn since my name is bolded. We've got our contestants. Damasco's out to an early lead, but we'll see about that. Time to spin. Section 2, knowing it from the Greek for serpent, ain't turning off his name is Doomlass and Hamlet. Okay. I know my stuff, or at least I have the answers. Whew, just in time. And that is the right answer. Okay, I got that 200 points. Still my turn. I better spin again. Feeling pretty good. I think I might win. Oh no. Okay, never remember this question. Germany, I think. Yeah, it looks like a German name, right? Santa Rosa? Yep, definitely. Oh, timer ran out. Dang, and it was Peru. Well, that's all right. Guess I'll lose the points for that question. Here we go. Damasco's turn. He's ready. Oh, so much for that early lead. Better luck next time. Here we have the next player. I'll play, obviously playing for Damasco and Chappelle. Sure they'll feel okay about that. Ooh, okay. I think I know this one. All right. That is the correct answer. By the way, how beautiful is this animation? Oh, lost your turn. Guess I shouldn't have focused on the animation so much. Back to me. Category 4. Borders just one other country, Canada. Ah, I'm a resident, so I know what this must be. Aha. Oh. Turns out Alaska is not a country. That's not the right answer. Oh, looks like I've lost 200 points. I'm going to have to make that up later. You'll notice the questions are disappearing as they come off the board. The name of this woman, the Black Eyed Peas, is just a shortening of her last name. Yep, I grew up in the 90s. Close enough. Who can spell a name like that anyway? Oh, daily double. Okay. So, what is our wager? No cents, please. Well, that's okay. I don't really have any cents anyway. I'm feeling pretty greedy for Damasco. I think we're going to submit 500. Oh, looks like that's too much. Got a bid between 500 and 400. I think we'll go for 200. Submit that wager. Ah, and as we remembered, the Korean question, who can forget Korea? Jeez Louise. North Korea? It looks like I'm really going to help this guy out. Wow, Damasco out to a commanding lead, Still his turn. Keep playing. I'm mesmerized every time that thing spins. Spin again. Okay. I think we will. You'll notice the category is always updated here, as well as this 12 o'clock on the wheel. Opponent's choice. Well, I'm the player and opponent, so I'll choose. But typically, this would be the opponent. When the Saints. I want to redeem myself. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Turns out I didn't know that one, and I don't think the Masco did either. We had to knock him down to size anyway. Okay, on to our third contestant. Okay, moving right along. Not looking good for us. Damasco and myself, that is. Chappelle's out to commanding lead. Ooh, and he gets the pick. And for some reason, he picks this category because it's the easiest one left. Right? Water. Oh, no. He's dominating. Clearly going to win. My friends are telling me France. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That was pretty close. That's what years of video games will get you. You can click some and answer fast. Another free spin. Excellent. You'll notice this token count increments by 1 here. And that'll come in handy later. Okay. I'm getting Lego my ego as an answer, so let's give it a shot. That's not it. I was close. Oh, but I've got a token. Kind of on a roll. I think I will use it. So, my turn will continue. I can tell you one thing, folks. I would not know these answers if I didn't have the answers. Well, somebody's got to stop Chappelle, and it might as well be the moderator. Let's see what happens here. Oh, it was fate. My turn. Definitely helps to have the answers. Finding that that's a winning strategy. Oh, except when the wheel doesn't turn your way. Alas, I got a couple 100 points there, and I'm now in the lead. Okay, borders just one other country, Denmark. Oh, it was. Damasco takes the lead. Sector 1. Everybody knows this. Oh no, even Damasco knows it. He's winning handily. This is a toughie. Yep, we got Italy. He's just killing us. Only 2 spins remaining. It's not looking good for the crowd, for the field. Oh, and he gets a spin again. Ooh, opponent's choice. Well, could make him answer a very, very high point question and hope that he loses it to make it interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not here was not the right answer. So, with that being said, Chappelle has a chance to get on the board before we head to the second round. Ah, very good. We've got a competitive game going in the second round. Round 1 has ended. Let's do this. Round 2. Now that we're in round 2, you can see that the question board has reset. We've got some different categories here, and the point totals have increased. In fact, they've doubled, and you can see that correlates directly to our round 2 points. With that being said, let's get this show on the road. Got ourselves a close game here. I'm trailing, but you never know. Comebacks do happen. In the air. This is where I wish I could phone a friend. Hey, not quite. Okay, sector 3. I don't know how he knows that, but he does. Man, he's good. Notice this is grayed out. Can't spin again. We're spinning. Animation in progress. Man, some people have all the luck. Ah, not quite. Definitely not. Definitely not it. Oh, but he has a token available. Tie with Chappelle. Yeah, this might come in handy. Better keep it for now. And you'll notice he does. Clipping right along. Dave Chappelle moves into the lead. And then promptly loses it. My turn. All right. I'm on the board. I'm rolling again. I'm spinning, I should say. And I am losing my turn. Time for Damasco. He's up next. Again, you'll notice we bold the current player. Nice feature. We route banks. Oof. Who doesn't? Oh, I wasn't fast enough. Or Damasco wasn't fast enough. Too bad for him. But actually, this time, he's going all in. He'll use that token, which disappears, and he keeps his turn. Man, that's a nice animation. Wow. I actually thought they meant dumbass, but dumbass it is. Oh, daily double. Hey, hey, hey. You'll notice we got a much larger max here. Once again, we'll try something interesting. Damasco's tied for the lead. He's feeling conservative, so he doesn't really want to wager much at all. But that's too bad, because he's got to do 5 to 800. So he'll do the minimum. because he's a total wimp. Cheerleader knew, and he better know it because it's the name of our team. Now, I want to clarify something here. We designed this game to be played interactively with multiple people in person playing on the same computer. So, in case it wasn't clear earlier, this dialog box will represent the actions the moderator could take. Yes, the answer was correct, or no, it wasn't. In this case, kind of a judgment call. I'll give it to him. There were a lot of Monty Pythons. Sometimes it's hard to remember which. Unfortunately, though, that gives him the lead. And he gets spin again. Damasco, after this, you and me, Vegas. I'll do best movie quotes. This time I don't even have to phone a friend. Again, we'll give it to him. There were a lot of those movies too. At this point, Damasco is starting to look like Ken Jennings. Ooh, that's not exactly what they do. I think that's not what they do. So the game is still in play. Okay. It wins. Yep. Spin again. He's got that 800 points that were right here. Now they're off the board. Sector 3, 1200. Good fairy. It's going to be a close one. Down to 8 spins. Moving quick. Free spin. He's got a token. Oh, he's going to be unstoppable. Oh, not quite. Ooh, he's still got a token. There's only 7 spins remaining. I got to believe Chappelle would use it. Then again, Dave Chappelle would not. Don't call it a comeback, kids. Here we go. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, stabbed in the back by my teammates. At this point, it's a 2-man's race. Who will win? Ooh, this is it. 3 turns to win the game. This one I do know. Just like that, 1 spin to go. The game's on the line. Sector 1, 800. Not quite what I thought originally. Just beats the timer. Okay, that's good. Ladies and gentlemen, final spin of the game. If he gets it wrong, Damasco wins. Right? And it's Olympic glory forever. 2,000 points. This is a tough one. We're going to need every second here. Whoa, right at the buzzer. You got it right. oh, and he wins the game. But let's be honest, we all knew Dave Chappelle was a winner. At any rate, I hope you've enjoyed our demonstration. We had a lot of fun creating this project. And as always,